Hello guys, I'm at Ardrossan Harbour. This is the reason why I'm taking the Caledonian Macbrayne Caledonian Isles, or MV Caledonian Isles I should say, over to Brodick on the Isle of Arran. I'm really looking forward to this. The weather is fantastic for the crossing, so why don't you come with me and I'll speak to you again once I'm on board. Cheers for now. The MV Caledonian Isles is one of the largest vessels operated by Caledonian Macbrayne, or CalMac as they are more commonly known. The company operate ferries connecting over 20 islands on the west coast of Scotland, from the larger destinations such as North Uist on the Outer Hebrides to the much smaller islands such as Carrera near to Oban. As we lined up at the quayside ready to board, I was thinking it was quite a large vessel for this particular route, though I later discovered that it's one of CalMac's most popular crossings, so as we boarded via the vehicle ramp, it was not really surprising to see that there were already plenty of cars inside. This reminded me, by the way, of lots of trips around the Greek islands I did a few years back, where we always seemed to just walk onto the ferries this way. And it's much more dramatic in my opinion, a bit like walking into the jaws of a whale. And I think it's quite similar to walking across the ramp and up the stairs to an aircraft, rather than using the jet bridge. You know, it's much more exciting in my opinion, but let me know what you think. And also notice how the ramp below the bow kind of folds out to form a bridge between the link span and the ship. It's quite neat really, isn't it? While I ended up on deck to watch the departure, the MV Caledonian Isles has always operated on this route, which can be undertaken by the vessel up to 5 times a day. It has the largest passenger capacity of the fleet, up to 1,000 passengers, along with 110 cars, and I think you probably get a lot of day trippers like me using the route, especially in the summer. It was relatively quiet today. As the bow closed slowly, we reversed out from Ardrossan Harbour, turning to face the open water of the Firth of Clyde to commence our crossing, which would take approximately 55 minutes. The sea did look pretty calm today, and as I said earlier, there was plenty of blue sky about, certainly for this part of the journey anyway. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you guys a bit of a tour inside the boat, starting with the lounge on deck 5, and see how much yellow and black tape you can spot as we carry on through the ship. This observation lounge was quite a busy area, but there wasn't really much else on deck 5, so I headed down to deck 4, which was where the main action was. We have a substantial cafe bar here called Mariners. I didn't try it, but if you did want to get food during the crossing, this was the only real place for it, but they did seem to serve quite substantial meals. After the cafe, we've got this kind of lobby area where you have more stairs and the doors where foot passengers would normally board or disembark. There's the usual slot machines, arcade games type of area that you find on most ferries of this size, but they're all turned off. I'm presuming that's because it was a designated high-risk COVID spreading danger zone. This was an interesting area with lots of community information about Arran, the sailing times, etc. As I walked towards the stern, I was quite surprised to see a decent sized shop of selling all sorts of souvenirs and essential items. Again, this is the sort of thing I would be expected to see on larger vessels on longer routes, to be honest, and I was quite impressed. And at the back of the boat was a bar called The Still, which again was quite popular. Quite a bit more yellow and black tape around here, you will notice, keeping everybody safe and well. I walked back up the starboard side of the boat, past some more seating, and found this very useful kind of tourist information area, with lots of leaflets and inspiration for things to do on Arran. Now, if I was staying longer, I would have picked up quite a few bits and pieces here, but as it was, I only had a few hours, and I wanted to make the most of the crossing, really, and the nice weather outside. Don't mention it. You're more than welcome. So I headed back up the stairs and out onto deck, and as you can see, it was again fairly busy out here. There were some beautiful views back towards the mainland, and just look how calm the sea was at this point. It was much quieter on the starboard side, where I sat for a while just appreciating the scenery, and taking it all in. Now, this is, after all, one of the main reasons for travelling for me, especially when you haven't been to a particular place before. Now, as we headed closer to Arran, notice how the weather's begun to change. This was fascinating, really, because whilst it still looked nice from where we'd come from, these dramatic clouds had started to form over the mountains of Goat Fell, and as you can tell, the wind was really starting to blow around the boat a bit. It was almost as if Arran had its very own microclimate, really, and I was also quite surprised to see how much snow there was on the mountains. Well, is this quite common for Arran at this time of year? Well, let me know. Anyway, I was sure glad I'd packed an additional fleece and my waterproofs. The weather had calmed down a bit by the time we entered port, though it had begun to rain, so I was quite pleased this time that we had a covered gangway when disembarking. Anyway, I managed to upset somebody's dog by stepping on their toy, but apart from that, there were no dramas, and within 5 minutes I was out on dry land, and my first visit to the Isle of Arran.
That was alright, wasn't it? I've just arrived on the Isle of Arran, aboard Calmac's Caledonian Isles. And yeah, it was a great crossing. It was pretty cold, I must say, and there's a bit of snow on the hills as well. About 55 minutes, £4.10 one way. Well, that's not bad value, is it, that? So I'm going to take a bit of a wander round. Hopefully it'll stop raining. It's not too bad, actually. It's got its own little microclimate, I think, the Isle of Arran. But anyway, I'm going to have a bit of a wander up into the town and see what I can find, and I'll catch you guys on another trip soon. Well, thanks for watching, and cheers for now.